Hey, Grant Nelson from Thief River Falls Radio with another edition of Community Grant. This time around, we're going to talk about drones and their use in public safety. We're with Justin Swong from the Polk County Sheriff's Office. He's an investigator in Polk County, and he's also one of their UAV pilots. Justin, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself, would you?
Well, you said I'm Justin Swong. I work for the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Been there about 13 years. Married, have 3 kids. Love my job.
So that there brings up a good question there. The drones, would that have come about had you not been in law enforcement, or did your interest in law enforcement lead to the drones?
Well, once drones started becoming more popular, I've kind of been interested in them, and I got a very, very small one years ago, but that was so difficult to fly that I haven't upgraded. And then once more and more law enforcement agencies started using drones, I was interested and brought it up to our sheriff, and eventually they ended up getting one, and then right away he knew I was interested and asked if I wanted to be a pilot.
How was the learning curve? I mean, you and I talked a little bit about this before we got on camera, but starting out with UAV, there's a lot to learn, and that Part 107 test is no joke.
Huge learning curve. Hours and hours of studying. I just want to make sure to pass that test. And it was not easy. It's probably one of the harder tests I've taken recently.
What are some of the tasks you've used the UAV for at the Polk County Sheriff's Office?
Yeah. We've used it to search for fleeing suspects. We had one guy run into a beet field in the middle of summer, so we used it for that. Recently, or a couple years ago, I think it was, we assisted Clearwater County. They had somebody run from a crime too out into the woods, and we used our FLIR and found a hot spot, and people on the ground walked to it and found them hiding under a tree.
My assumption would have been that FLIR, thermal cameras, were used only at night, but that's not true.
No, they actually, when it's cooler out anyway, they work great in the daylight. On a hot summer day, we don't use it because it's pointless. The ground is just as warm and as everything else, and it doesn't really pick up the heat signature. But another thing we've used it for, which is very interesting, I don't think it's been on anybody's radar when we got it, we've had 2 unfortunate incidents of vehicles entering the river. So we took the drone up and were able to see the vehicle under the water and guide the emergency crews that are on the water directly over the vehicle to locate it a lot quicker.
How do you keep a drone ready, in the ready stage, for use by law enforcement?
Well, we have our chief operator. He has it in his office at our sheriff's office, and he'll every so often make sure all the batteries are charged up, and after every use we charge the batteries up and then put it away in the same spot. We have enough batteries on ours, on the Matrice that we have here, that we can basically keep it up continuously. We've got a generator that we haul around with it to plug in the chargers, so one set of batteries dies, take it down, put those on the charger, put new set in and go up, and by the time we cycle around, the first set is recharged.
Tell me a little bit about a typical mission. I mean, as far as looking for somebody, do you use mapping? Are you using kind of a freehand? How are you finding people?
Well, especially on this Matrice 210, when we put it up on our remote, it shows an image of the map and where we have flown. It does have the capability, you can draw out a grid pattern and it'll fly it automatically. However, I prefer to do it freehand. We generally have an idea of what area we're going to be looking at. So we'll just kind of fly around there, and then I can look in the map to see where we've been, where we haven't, and we can move to a different spot if needed.
Matrice is a professional camera drone. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
When we got it, like I said, we split the cost with our highway department. They'll use it to fly ditches and stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure what they're looking for, but and then we upgraded and we got a FLIR camera for that one, and also a 30 power zoom camera. And the stabilizer on there holds the cameras very, very steady, and we can zoom in, I mean, pretty far.
Now, you've got the Matrice 210, but you also have the DJI Mavic Enterprise with the dual camera.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about, maybe compare and contrast those two, and maybe what are some of the situations where you've used one more than the other?
Well, we recently acquired that Enterprise within the last 5-6 months. Okay. So, I mean, I have not used it in real life situations. However, I do prefer that one because of its size. I mean, this Matrice 210, it's pretty big and takes a little bit to put it together. Just through practice and scenarios and stuff. Our enterprise, we bought a speaker that we can mount on the top. We also got a light, like a spotlight, that we can mount to the top, and we got bumpers that go around the rotors. So if we're flying indoors, we bump into a wall, it'll just bounce off the wall. So through like training and stuff, I've flown it in our office down the hallways while I sat in my office and just used the camera to see where I was going, and flew it right into another office which was completely pitch dark, and there is a FLIR on that one that comes with it, and so through that I was able to find somebody just standing in the corner. A lot safer for law enforcement. I mean, if we have somebody hiding out, with a weapon or something, we don't know where they are. I mean, why not put the drone in there and see if we can locate them instead of searching it with a person, and then you turn the corner and there's a guy with a gun standing there.
Now we're going to talk about public engagement here, but I'm curious to know how your fellow officers engage with this. Are they relying on this technology? Were they resistant to it at first? Are they slowly taking it up?
I don't think anybody was resistant. There were some people that were scared of the test, so they didn't want to be a pilot. But no, whenever a situation arises, they call for the drone. Okay. They know its capabilities and where might not be so good. For example, somebody hiding out in a covered field in the middle of summer on a hot day. I mean, we still put it up just to see if we can see movement, but I mean, we're not going to be able to just pick out a person laying under a bunch of, leaves and stuff like that.
Have you been on scene and somebody been like, why do you have that here? I don't want that over here, anything like that?
Well, it's the complete opposite. When we're flying a mission and stuff and there's public around, they're very interested in the drone, and everybody thinks that the drone's a pretty cool machine. So I haven't had any negativity yet.
Okay. Probably have a chance to do a little public education every once in a while when they come up and talk to you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everybody is they're amazed at what it can do and what it can see. So, I mean, when the time's right, I'll kind of explain to them what we do and what we can see and how the controls work.
Justin Swang from the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.